Hi there, I'm Joanna Douglas, owner of Clean Affinity, and we're going to get you trained up. It's important that everyone follows the same system so that everyone is doing the same thing every time in every home. Ideally, we like to send the same person to clean for the same client over and over, but that isn't always the case because of vacations or sick days, or maybe the client changes their schedule. The goal is for you to be able to walk into a home that you've never seen before, for a client that's a regular for someone else, for you to be able to clean that client's home, and for the client not to notice that it wasn't their regular person. That's the goal. Consistency, uniformity, and reliability. As an employee of Clean Affinity, you don't have to provide anything for yourself. We're going to give you everything that you need. You will get a bucket with supplies. You will get a bag of microfibers, more bags of microfibers, as many as you need. You're going to get a vacuum. You're going to get a mop, and you're going to get a tote with all the extra supplies that you will need to get a whole week's worth of work done. Factoid, we don't carry step ladders. Well, we don't provide step ladders for you to use because a step ladder is a nightmare to carry around. It's the client's responsibility to provide a step ladder if they want something like the top of their fridge or the ceiling fan done. Because you'll be leaving from your home and going straight to the client's house, you will have everything that you need with you for the whole week's worth of work. Once a week, the field support manager will come around and resupply you with all your microfibers. We'll take your dirty ones off you and wash them for you. We're gonna give you a new tote with all the supplies that you're gonna need for another week's worth of work. All of this will be in the trunk of your car. In your bucket, you will have one Webster for getting cobwebs, 2 spray bottles, one all-purpose and the other one heavy-duty, 1 jar of baking soda for kitchen sinks and super scummy showers, 1 jar of borax, this is for toilet bowls and really scummy showers, a toilet brush in a separate container with a pumice stone, maybe an upside-down toothbrush for toilet use only. There will also be a couple more containers that look suspiciously like the toilet brush holder, but should never make contact with the toilet brush. One is for pouring water and generally rinsing surfaces, and the other is for containing small bits and pieces like toothbrushes and sponges and the like. In your tote, you'll get some smaller bottles of concentrated cleaner. These are pre-measured for you, but you'll have a larger bottle that you can refill the smaller bottles with. The smaller bottles are about 2 ounces, and what you want to do is in an empty spray bottle, not one that's full already, in an empty spray bottle, fill it up to just about the bottom of the neck, a little bit less. Pour your concentrated cleaner in after it's already filled with water. If you pour the concentrate in and then add water, it just foams everywhere and makes a huge mess. The smaller bottle is about 2 ounces, and this is for your all-purpose. The larger bottle is 5 ounces, and this is for your heavy duty. Make sure there's less water so you can add all the concentrate in. All-purpose you can use pretty much anywhere. Heavy duty might require some rinsing. Never ever use heavy duty on floors. It makes them feel sticky. If a client complains about sticky floors, add more water to your all-purpose cleaner. If a client ever asks about our products, tell them what we use. Explain the liquid cleaner as Safe Care Aqueous Cleaner is a plant-based surfactant made with the fatty acids of things like apple seeds and oats. It's a single ingredient product with water added to dilute. It contains no dyes or perfumes, just concentrated, practical, green cleaning power. Think of it as an ingredient in one of your favorite green cleaners, but without all the stabilizers, smells, colors, and whatnot. This formulation was Eco-Logo certified, though they have not maintained their certification, but the formulation has not changed. It's a very minimalist bucket. All products are as green as we can find, but still effective to get the job done without making your job more difficult than it needs to be. Elbow grease will still be required, so you're gonna get strong. These products work well for everyday messes. If we encounter things like stains or mildew or hard water, there might not be a whole lot that we can do. Above all, if you run into anything weird or something that you just can't get right, always communicate with the office and with the client. Office first. Communication is very important as we are terrible mind readers. And the client, if they aren't home, it's better that you tell them about the problem before they find the problem and tell us about it. Factoid! How to tell the difference between hard water and soap scum. Give the surface a scratch with your fingernail. If it comes off, it's kind of waxy under your fingernail, that's soap scum. If you scratch, 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 it comes off a little bit, it's probably some soap scum, but if there's that gritty layer underneath, that's likely a hard water thing. Here in Portland, maybe other places it's different, We have really soft water. Hard water is like, we hardly ever come across it. If there is something special like mildew or hard water or whatever, and the client has a special product, they have been instructed to leave the product out for us in a conspicuous location. It is not your responsibility to go looking through cabinets or drawers trying to find stuff, unless there's a specific job note about it. But on the whole, policy is that they have been instructed to leave it out in a conspicuous location. If you're using something that we don't know what it is, make sure you put gloves on, open a window to ventilate the room. Probably you're supposed to wear goggles, depending on the product, but the client should be providing you with something as well. If there's mildew in a shower, all we can do is scrub it. We don't carry bleach with us because bleach is like totally toxic, but a client may ask us to bleach a corner if it's a recurring problem. If that is the case, we recommend that they use a foaming product so that it stays where you spray it. If they don't give us a foaming product, or even if it is foaming and it starts to run onto a metal surface, rinse it right away. Keep it off the metal, because what it does is it corrodes the chrome and it just eats it away and it looks terrible and it's expensive to replace. You will also have microfiber cleaning cloths. They're not rags, they're microfibers. Anyone caught calling them rags gets the crappy vacuum. You will also get a vacuum. These things are spendy, and replacement parts start at $40 for every piece, so be very careful with it, be gentle on it, don't go throwing it around. Proper care and maintenance is important. The vacuum is also a bit of a weapon. It's large and it's clunky and it's hanging off your back where you can't see it. Think light, agile thoughts, not big clunky elephant thoughts. If you're in a tight space, back up carefully until you have space to turn around, and then you can turn. Holding the vacuum correctly takes a bit of getting used to. In your non-dominant hand, you will hold the cord. To hold it properly, make long loops and lay the loops in your hand starting from the crook of your thumb toward the tip of your finger. This is so you can carefully drop a loop when you need more cord. Never ever whip, jerk, tug, pull, or otherwise be aggressive with your cord. Doing so is going to damage clients' baseboards, and we don't want to do that. Look at the cord. See all this paint transfer? It's because it was pulled along a baseboard. See the paint transfer on the vacuum? That's because it made contact with a wall. These bumps and bruises can be scrubbed away with the scrubby side of a sponge at least. Daily vacuum maintenance requires cleaning out the paper bag. You open it up, take the paper bag out, throw it in a garbage bag, leave it for the field support manager to take. Totally fine. Then you want to shake out the cloth bag and tap the HEPA filter. We want to get as much dirt out of them as we can, because they're $40 a pop to replace. So the less often we have to replace them, the better. The paper bags themselves are like 60 cents a piece, but I'd rather pay 60 cents for a paper liner than $40 for a cloth one. When either the cloth bag or the filter get clogged, it dramatically shortens the life of the vacuum. You get a high-pitched whine and it just doesn't work as well, and then eventually the motor gets tired and dies, and that's the end of the vacuum. When you put the paper liner in, make sure it goes over all the edges all the way around. If you don't do this, it's going to suck through the easiest way, which is down through the cloth bag, which makes a gigantic mess, and we just don't need to do that. Listen to your vacuum as you work. Clogs will cause the motor to whine at a higher pitch, so that's what you're listening for. It also just doesn't vacuum stuff up like it should. So that's another way that you'll know. Garment tags, toothpicks, Q-tips. It's nice to be optimistic and hope that they will vacuum up and you don't have to bend over, but it's not gonna work. Save yourself the time and hassle of having to clear a big ugly clog and just bend over and pick it up now. Better yet, pick it up when you're dusting. If you do get a clog, be sure to clear it right away before it becomes a big ugly thing or the vacuum dies. Use the handle of your bucket to poke around until the clog is free. This is how your vacuum should be wrapped up for transport. Do not tie the bendy hose in knots because it will get holes in it and it is expensive to replace. Wind the cord up after you have unplugged it from the wall. If you don't, it gets all twisty and it is a nightmare to use. Make sure both straps are out of the way when winding up the cord so that you can wear it over both shoulders. When it is just one shoulder, you risk it falling around, bashing into things, and generally looking sloppy. Carry your stuff this way. Vacuum on both shoulders, microfibers over an arm, vacuum and mop like this, with the mop head behind your head, hanging onto it below the joint, so this doesn't happen. The bucket in the other hand. It's easy that way. Do it this way and you will be able to carry all your stuff in one trip. I want to make your job as easy as possible, so if you follow these rules, it will be easy. Your tote. This is your main resupply station. This is just what's going to be in the back of your car. You're going to refill your stuff before and between jobs. Use fresh sponges and toothbrushes so you're not bringing one client's germs and cooties into another client's. Please do your best to keep your tote tidy. It just is so much easier on your field support manager. They got a lot of totes to refill and it's a nightmare to make sure everything is there if it's all a big mess. Jars that need to be refilled, just turn them upside down so that we can see that they're empty. Put your dirty microfibers in a bag, just one bag all condensed is fine. You want to make sure that everything is full so that you're not having to make trips back and forth during a job. You want to do it before the job and between jobs. Going back and forth makes you look like a dummy. Be prepared and look like a pro. Once a week, your field support manager will find you at a job and meet you for a re-up. They're just going to take your old tote and give you a new one. We'll take all your dirty microfibers, and if you have any garbage from replacing your vacuum bag, we're going to take all that off of you.